I was a virgin, and then I said to myself, these are the things. Of course, I've seen examples of people who actually tried, they just wanted to explore and look at how their life has ended up. The real Christians who are getting married these days are beginning to show the world this is marriage. Marriage is beautiful. I got there before her at the point where I was meant to meet her. I stood there, called her on the phone. She was like, "Oh, so sorry. I forgot we're supposed to meet. I'm so tired. You are close to my hostel. Can't you just walk in? In fact, I'm even cooking right now. You come first, I'll give you food. I'm going to stand here in the next 5 minutes. If you don't show up, I'll go back to my house. Yes, I'll go back anyway. You've stressed me out. But trust me, you won't get this opportunity. It's going to cost you a lot of things. And I can tell you, it cost me a lot of friendship. I can bet you a lot of people have these scriptures. They can recite these scriptures. Some people, even the unbelievers, they know some of these quotes. When you quote it for them, they will tell you, they will complete it for you. But your life will always tell the difference.
The devil will keep pursuing you in different ways, especially through temptations. That is so common, but then it's not so common for us because sometimes it's hard to overcome.
The devil tries to show the world the other side of it, that you can actually go in and go out. And I don't think people who are divorced, they're happy. Let's forget about what you see on social media. They tend to be happy. They go for events. They're happy. Each time you see the person you are divorced, it reminds you of your marriage.
I'm a disciplined person. I do this and do that. But when they now get to know you, they see that they don't even have to get to know you before they know you're a Christian, but you have lived it through. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the LSTG. It's been how many weeks now? I think 3 weeks, and I'm just so grateful to God, honestly. And I am so excited because I have another guest. I think I get so excited about guests because I've been doing this on my own for the longest, and I've just been like, God, when am I going to have to bring my people in? And right about now, I have one of my good people in my life. His name is Chidiebere. Hello. I wanted to actually introduce you, but I mean, you have the mic, so you can just, introduce yourself. But then let me just say this. He is one of the most amazing people. He's more like my big brother. He's amazing. I remember the first time we met, I never knew that there could be like this good person in school that would care about you. A total stranger will call you to make sure that everything that you were sad about that whole day was being done, and he followed it up to the letter, and here we are after, is it 4 years, and we're still friends. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's so amazing. I mean, I think we spoke about this podcast for a very long time, and here we are right now doing it. So, and you have happened to be my guest. So let me just go straight to the question. Everybody who joins, I always ask them about their salvation story.
Okay.
Because I think I really like to hear. Some people have like dramatic stories, some people have like not so dramatic, but I'd like to hear. We've never really had that conversation before. So, how did you give your life to Christ, or how did you accept Jesus?
Yeah, I think this happened under some strange circumstances. At that point in my life, a lot of things were going on. I think I was still in secondary school, maybe between the ages of 16 to 18, something like that. And then things were not going the way it should be. For instance, during that time, everybody was eager to get into the university. There was JAMB, and then you have to read very well to get into. So I did the same with others, went for lessons and all that. And it wasn't happening. At that point in my life, I was questioning God. Um, I'm a regular church attender. I attend, based on the moral principles how my parents, started with us, make sure but things were not working out. So at that point, I knew there was something missing that I needed to, do something quickly, urgently before I could get my breakthrough.
Yeah.
So that was exactly 2004, precisely, August 3rd, 2004. So that was a youth conference. I was already part of the youth body in the church.
Yeah.
By the way, born Anglican. So
Same here.
yeah, um, so that youth conference was publicized.
Yeah.
Every time they would come up to say, "Oh, you need to attend. If you think God, you need God in your life. Things are not working out. Come and join young people like you." And then, so I told my parents I would like to attend, and it was a camp meeting. So
Oh, okay.
you were to live in the camp, stay in the camp for
Yeah.
a few days. So, and I, with my friends, I told my sister as well, many of my cousins. So we went for this camp meeting. The first day, second day, third day. By the fourth day, there was an altar call,
Yeah.
and the person said, if you know things like you've actually examined yourself,
Yeah.
you can tell that you are qualified to get certain things done. Like you are supposed to get things done in your life, but things are not working out. Come out here. And then I was thinking just to come out, maybe he will pray for me and
Yeah.
then things will work out. But something changed about me that
Wow.
night. And then I got home, I knew that I think something was really
Different.
different.
Yeah.
So, and that was the genesis of it. So, 3rd of August 2004.
How is it that you guys remember your salvation, like the day? And I don't remember anything, but there's something I'm very curious because I know you to be someone who is actually, I mean, who doesn't know you would see you as a serious person. So I'd like to see this side of you to know if you actually kept giving your life to Christ at some point. Like, did you keep going for altar calls?
Yeah, of course. It happens, sometimes it depends on the altar call. Sometimes preachers will just call for altar call. And they will specifically say different types of,
Yeah.
people they're expecting to come,
Yeah.
not just first timers.
Yes.
They will still say, that you've been working with God, but somehow something is missing.
Yeah.
At the point you slack. So come out and rededicate. So at that point, I think I can call it rededication.
Rededication, yeah.
And to be honest, we will give our life to Christ every day.
Exactly.
Because
True.
to keep renewing it. I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's a contract, but
Yeah.
it's something that you keep following.
Yeah.
It's a continuous presence.
Yeah.
Don't just stop.
Yeah.
You follow today and you stop. So you need to keep looking for more, because the more you want to know God, the more deeper you go in, you want to know Him. So you can't stop. So any opportunity you have, you just rededicate your life, because you never can tell.
Yeah.
So I see it as more of rededication, and not like you're giving your
Giving your life to
because,
Christ again, like taking salvation first.
Exactly. The event has already
Happened, yeah.
So you just need to keep at it. Just how do you consolidate this particular thing you've gotten? Because you need to guide it. Bible will say, guide your heart with all diligence, out of it flows issues of life. So you need to, because the moment you give your life to Christ, you've declared war.
Declared war, yeah.
With the devil. So the devil comes after you every day. So how do you guide it? You have to fight for it. Even Paul will say you have to fight the good fight.
Yeah.
So it's a war that you can't stop fighting.
Fighting, yeah.
Until your last day.
Last day, yeah.
You have to be conscious of the fact that every moment you see within, maybe you went for a program, and don't always see yourself as, I don't need to come out again to give my life to Christ. You can just say the same prayer they are saying for the new convert.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
Amazing.
You are rededicating your life, because that's more like you are reciting or kind of repeating the pledge that, God, I'm still for you.
For you, yeah.
You've forgotten. I'm still for you. Not looking at yourself as yourself, you're okay. You don't need any salvation anymore. Because if you check through your life, if God could just give us some seconds to look at our
Our
life,
lives,
you
yeah.
can see that you've really missed
Missed,
something.
exactly.
That's why, you know, coming before God to pray, I'm always very conscious of myself, the state of my mind,
Yeah.
before I start asking for anything. Sometimes I don't feel like asking God for something. I just feel like asking for mercy because you must have done something.
Wow.
So yeah.
I haven't, I've actually seen it this way before, but I actually didn't know that people literally see it this way. I like the angle you have come from. I think there's a scripture that came to my mind when you said it. It says, as we behold him, we transform from glory to glory. So it's, I think truly it's a contract thing, like renewing. I don't think God sees it that way, but we seeing it that way is humbling, and it's a state of humility, right? So I like that. So we're going to get into the main topic, and I just want to ask: are you ready to be open?
Yeah, sure. I've always wanted to, I mean, the best story of my life is to be open. I tell people
Yeah.
things not, I mean, I have outgrown whatever you want to call it. It's my life.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people tend to, shy away from saying some dark side of their life,
Yeah.
which is, in a way, that's the best form of evangelism. Most times you go for evangelism, you don't have to always, you can recite or say something, maybe just mention a scripture, but the story you tell about your life is the main thing. If you look at all the books Paul wrote, most times is about his life.
Yes. Very open.
Yeah, that's one of the powerful messages you can put out there, and it draws people to God more, maybe more quickly.
Yeah.
Use that word. And when you preach the same scripture, they've read it over and
Over again.
and they want to know, what about you? What happened to you? We knew you before, because when Paul was converted, of course, you can imagine God sending you back to the same place where he used to. That was a setup.
Yes.
But you could see that it took people time to understood that there was a change in his life. They thought this was another strategy for to kill us. But when they saw the genuinity of what he was ready to die. They could see that he wasn't even afraid to be killed.
Yeah.
That's when they start knowing. So that was simply, this is me now.
This is me.
You
Yeah.
guys knew my story, but this is me now. So that's for me. I think that's the best way to preach.
I love that. You're really ready. Okay, so I have been very, I think we've talked about it before, like about the what we're about to talk about. And I find it very captivating. I think with you, there's so much to talk about. So I know that I'm probably going to bring you back so we can talk on something else. But there's just one thing I was very curious for us to share here, and that's in your not just relationship or marriage. I know you just got married not too long, and so you're like newlywed. Is that what they call it? But before then, you have been in a long-term relationship. Not just long-term relationship. You've been in a distant relationship, and that's by the way. But the major thing is about you and your godliness that exudes like purity, holiness, and you just, as Christians, it's really difficult sometimes, especially when when the devil is on your neck, and you're willing to go all out for God. The devil will keep pursuing you in different ways, especially through temptations, like that is so common, but then it's not so common for us because sometimes it's hard to overcome. So I've been wanting to ask how you've been able to merge your Christianity and your belief in God and your walk with God that should keep you consecrated, and how you also have dealt with your relationship also in the area of temptations, lust, what's it called? Different things, especially sexual, temptations and lust and all that stuff. How have you been able to merge? How have you been able to balance? How have you been able to overcome such temptations?
Yeah, that's I think while you asking the question, I was just trying to pick some memories. So first of all, like I said, number one is the fear of God. If you read the scriptures, you see that anything about relationship.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, everything about God is relationship.
Yeah.
You know, so the fear of God, understanding that this is what God detests.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then apart from God giving you the grace,
Mm-hmm.
you also need to be disciplined.
Hmm.
Discipline in the sense that it's going to cost you a lot of things,
Hmm.
and I can tell you it cost me a lot of friendship. I
Wow.
needed to cut off a lot of people, and I made it very clear that this is the standard, this is the way I want to go about
Mm-hmm.
my life, and
Mm-hmm.
knowing that um I think, let me just point this out. Even some of the people that mentored me during the time I got born again, I
Yeah.
won't forget Pastor Steve
Mm-hmm.
Okeke. Funny enough, yes, same name,
Yeah.
surname. Many of them, I wouldn't have time to mention them, but these people were emphasizing on relationship. That if you're for God as a young person, be
Mm-hmm.
aware that the devil wants to destroy your
Destroy
destiny.
your destiny.
Most of the people, even in the scripture, you see that sexual sin
Mm.
is actually one of the major, if not the major tool
Easiest.
the enemy is using
Yes.
to destroy a
The
lot
most
of destiny.
common.
And what is common, among people is that um the devil presents it as if it's so pleasurable.
Mm-hmm.
Just get it, get this gratification. But before you know it, you lose it. The interest goes off, and then you have done something. And one thing I keep telling people is more spiritual than you think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about connecting spirits.
Yeah.
Connect this soul, connect this person,
Mm-hmm.
and then somehow you eventually get into your marriage. Those forces will come back and hunt you down.
Yeah.
So, first of all, God, and I have to keep reminding myself. That's why when I look at some characters, I remember Joseph.
Joseph. Oh
He
yeah.
had the opportunity to become whatever,
Mm-hmm.
which is what is common today. The master's wife would tell the servant, you know what, let's just do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll promote you,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next thing, stories upon stories, and then the boy will be sent home. So, um, so discipline,
Mm-hmm.
uh, my friends, and also the kind of association I
Mm-hmm.
belong to. I go to the places I go to. I had to, define for myself. These are the places you should go.
Yeah.
These are the places you shouldn't go.
Yeah.
And then the kind of discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Another important thing is what you feed yourself
Hmm.
with. You feed your spirit, man, not just what you read, the movies you watch, the
Mm-hmm.
music you listen to.
Yeah.
Some of these things are avenue through which the enemy,
Gates. That's
it's just
yeah.
like gates.
Yeah.
You just open yourself up and the enemy attacks you.
Yeah.
So these are the principles, laid down principles. And initially, when I started, applying some of these things, it was very difficult because it was as if I was just the old man's out. People just look at you and say, "For how long are you going to sustain this?"
Yeah.
So, and then the more they mention all these things, the more I try to keep to what and one of the things that motivated me or kind of encouraged me was that the more I stay on that track,
Mm-hmm.
the more people are desiring to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So remember the question you asked me about my sexual. Yeah, of course, I'm a human.
Yeah.
Those laws, you feel like the urge and all that,
Mm-hmm.
because temptations, I mean, I'll
Everywhere.
just share this story. When I was in UNN, I remember vividly in the class of we're about 120 students and
Yeah.
all that. So, and we have majority were ladies,
Ladies.
and
Yeah.
ladies, they look at a guy who is really disciplining, who they feel like, this is the type of person that can take care of them and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew those things because even the way they behave towards me, I could tell. But within me, I've already told myself,
Yeah.
can't just yield.
You did.
Some will deliberately come to you and say, you know what, I'm inviting you. I'm gonna cook this afternoon.
Yeah.
What comes to my mind in a very funny way, I'll be like, you want to poison me, or you want to put something for me to now, So it comes to my mind, and I'll
Yeah.
be like, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
I always come up, and one thing is that God I always come up with one good excuse.
Excuse.
It could be that, oh, somehow I think I need to go to the fellowship.
Yeah.
Something that they won't see any reason to say, okay, I think this it makes sense if you're going for fellowship. Not like you are home, you don't want to come. Then some want to come to visit. I stayed off camp, so some of them would just ask me, you know what if I come around? I would be like, no, you can't come around my place.
Wow.
I don't think I want to entertain you alone. And they'll be like, so I have to spell it out. It's not like you're saying, oh, I don't want you to come. I will tell you, I don't want us to be alone.
Yes.
So I will say it. And they'll be like, and some of them will react and say, oh, you think I want to come and rape you or something? I'll be like, it's not about that. That's my standard.
Your
If you want us to meet, we can stay somewhere, open place. I always choose somewhere that people are watching. It can't be a hidden place. So some of these measures I put it in place just because I'm trying to guide myself. There's this Igbo adage you always say, probably I will interpret it. You say, where it's the person that God is protecting that protects himself. Onye chi na-azọ, na-azọ onwe. Yeah, that's the meaning. So when you protect yourself, when God is protecting you, you also need to protect yourself. Don't rely on, oh, I'm covered, and then you find yourself in a wrong place. Definitely, you are making yourself open to the devil. So those things will come, but you have to suppress it. Now, one of the ways I do that, I try to, because I said when your mind is idle, when your mind is idle, that's when you start giving thoughts to some of those things.
Exactly.
Then you start asking yourself, look at the situation, look at the opportunities coming my way. Some guys would have taken this. Why are you saying no? And then because you're already giving thoughts to that, you might end up picking your phone to call one of them. You know what? I think I'm around. Come over. Are you around? Let me come. Because you are being drawn to that. So the moment such thought comes, I try to replace it with something else. Automatically. It's either I engage myself, probably watch something that is a defiant, or I can decide to, just find something to engage myself with. These are practical steps I do take, but I wouldn't say, oh, I've never know. A lot of them, in fact, many countless times, some of them will invite you to their birthdays, and sometimes I question you, what kind of birthday, and you'll be like, what kind of question is this? This is a birthday party. I say, what kind of birthday party? What are the events of that birthday? So it got to that point that some of them were like, you are very weird. I mean, you're asking me what's gonna happen on my birthday. You don't know what happened, dance and all that. Say, okay, apart from that, what are the drinks? What are you serving people? So you can imagine how strict I was. So people, I mean, ladies, some of them, even with that, they still love the fact that you're disciplined. But your intention is not real, like it's not pure. You still want something else. You are actually showing me you care. But I could tell from your from your behavior, the way you act, that you is more than that. So and everything ends in school. Once we finish the class, that's where it ends. The whole, oh, I greet you, I make sure you feel good, but it ends there. So it was very difficult at a point. A lady came to me and asked me, could you just tell us who is your girlfriend among all of us? I said, unfortunately, all of you are my friend.
All of you are my babes.
All of you are my friend. So it was very difficult to define. So but that really helped me a lot, And then before I now decided to go into a proper relationship with my wife now, it was very easy for me to pick out the qualities I need from, I was actually asking God for. Apart from the fact anybody you ask, they will say godly wife, but it's more than that. Her love for God is genuine, and it's not something she was trying to show me so that I would just fall in love with her. She was genuine about that. And and is being consistent.
Mm-hmm.
The journey of the long distance
Mm-hmm.
relationship thing, probably you want me to talk about it now?
Okay, so I'll usher you in, but I'm very curious from what you have said.
Okay.
There was something, I think two things stood out for me, and now I'm going to probably enter into a more sensitive question. So, because you are so disciplined from what you have said, the way you handle things, no, no, this, that. But guess what? There are also some people who have achieved or gone like been successful this way, but it wasn't as they were not as disciplined as you were.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, was it like background growing up that made you to be this disciplined? Because other people are going through probably worse. I mean, at least you've defined some things, but some people can be just like Joseph.
Yeah.
Joseph was right there in the temptation. You understand? So that was so big a temptation. And so if they are not as disciplined, how can you get out of it? So it seems like you really had it together. But I'm wondering, is it that um I mean,
Yeah.
do you think that being a virgin or not have like you not have had sex, was it an advantage for you to also become more disciplined and more successful in coming out of this temptation? Or I mean, it was just God, because some people who have probably made mistakes in their past, like have, been having sex and all that stuff, and now they now want to start keeping themselves. It's very hard because they've tasted something that, is really nice and all that stuff. So tell me what exactly it is for you in terms of discipline.
Okay, so now if you heard what I said earlier, God was number one. And then being that I was a virgin, and then I said to myself, these are the things. Of course, I've seen examples of people who actually tried, they just wanted to explore and look at how their life has ended up.
Yeah.
So they are more like, some of them were actually saved, they got back themselves, God forgave them,
Yeah.
grace was there.
Yeah.
Some couldn't, they were still struggling. So seeing all those examples, I was like telling myself, that means this is not the right path for me to
Wow.
follow.
Okay.
So these are the options. I saw those things, and that actually made me to say, you know what, I think you can hold on to yourself. The temptations will always come, no doubt.
No doubt.
But when you remind yourself of these, and then ask God for grace, I always depend on God. Yeah, you mentioned something about background. Yeah, the discipline was more like my dad somehow reminds you of,
Who
if
you
you
are.
do this, if you do that,
Yeah.
this is what's going to happen to you. And I think one of the things I started doing was more of even telling some young people, because I was in the youth fellowship.
Fellowship,
So
right?
at a point, I was a leader in the church,
Yeah.
local church, and then other places. So I had the opportunity to go out to talk to young people.
Yeah.
So by talking to them about this, how to keep themselves, in a way, I was talking to myself.
Yourself, yeah.
So you're telling them the benefits or the reasons why they should keep themselves.
Yeah.
You are giving them, seeing your future. If you deny your future husband this, and someone else is taking advantage of it, so what do you have to present?
Yeah.
So most of these things were these are ways I was using to keep
To
myself.
keep yourself.
So, and then of course my upbringing was one of it as well.
Yeah.
My dad, would strictly tell you, these are the, if you get someone pregnant, definitely you're going to marry
The person
you
and
go, and so, and then
yeah.
now give you a picture of what's going to happen. You might probably, your education, you just stop it because you're going to start fathering someone.
Yeah.
Most of those things you always remind yourself of, so it keeps you on track. So it's not just my personal discipline. I believe God was actually the major factor, because when you read the scriptures, you see people that have done something related to that,
Yeah.
how their life, you kind of move from this point to this point, and you tell yourself you don't want to have that kind of life. And also, I have this understanding of, I want this to be for the woman I want to spend my life with. That was also a very key moment. I
Wow.
always tell myself, leave this for the woman. It's better you have that experience with
Yeah.
that person you want to marry
Yeah.
than any other person,
Yeah.
because it's more like the person is going to experience something that has been enjoyed by someone else. So it keeps me in that
Yeah.
space whereby I make sure I don't
Yeah.
go off. So, but yeah, temptations, many of them.
Yeah. So first of all, so you said something about meeting your uh wife now, who was your girlfriend at the time. Was it during school or
So
after school?
it was during service, youth service. So it happened. Now the story was kind of it was a very funny story. So where I was meant to serve in Lagos, I served in Lagos anyway, but due to the camp being too small, so they sent some of us to other states to serve. So I was in Ibadan, Iseyin camp, and
Yeah.
then she was also serving in Iseyin.
Okay.
And I think the first day we arrived camp, everybody had been assigned to their platoon, and then I was made the platoon leader of platoon 6. So I remember vividly when I came out to address the whole. I think in my platoon we were
Yeah.
almost 300 and some. So I came out in front of and I addressed them. So she was telling me this story after we started talking.
Yeah.
When she saw me when I came out, they were like, "Who is this guy addressing everybody?" Like he was more like a leader. He wants to make sure our platoon wins for everything. Because I was truly saying all the games, everything. I want us to make sure we win for like. And then I came back, she observed me, but we weren't talking. So
Yeah.
I think we started talking the very day they had to, divide groups. You can join ICT. You can
Yeah.
So I saw her, she was with the drumstick. She joined the band trying to explore. And then I was heading for the IT. And then I saw her and I was like, hello, I've been seeing you around. And
So sorry, please. Not hello. I will see you around.
now seeing you in my platform, like the thing is, the truth is that the first time I sighted her,
Yeah.
I something yeah,
Exactly.
I felt something. I said, you need to talk because I saw her composure, the way she composed herself,
Yeah.
not this. So I was like, I was really interested to like talk to her. I was looking for an opportunity to talk to her. So that very afternoon, she was heading towards, like, looking tired, just with her stick heading. So I was like, "Hello, where are you going?" She said she was looking for where they are supposed to meet. I was like, "Okay, I'm even heading to where the
Oh
ice."
wait, so she's your first girlfriend? She was your first girlfriend?
Like I would say, my first real girlfriend.
Real girlfriend.
Yeah,
So
I
did
have friends. I have good friends. Like I have among girls,
yeah.
among the girls I
Yeah.
call friends.
Yes.
I have some close friends. Just the
Yes.
way we are.
Yes.
These ones are not. I'm not going into any
In
relationship.
a relationship.
Just a very good
Yes.
friend that
Yes.
we have like minds.
Yes.
We talk about things together, but not someone I'm really ready to go.
Do for
It ends with that.
so you're telling me that at the time where you had all these temptations and stuff, you were not dating anybody,
I wasn't.
and then you met your
Yeah.
girlfriend. So did that affect? I mean, because you've never really asked anybody out or courted anyone. So when you met that your lady, was it hard for you to meet, like to talk to her? Because now you said, "Hello, have you seen you?"
So one thing about me is that when I want to get to talk to someone,
That you like.
I don't wait for, oh, let's just get, I just go straight
Oh my god.
to say hello to you. I don't get, if you are not ready for the talk, you can tell me, but not in a way of, I want to talk to you, you have to talk to me. So I first waited for the opportunity to speak to her. I mean, all the people in my platform do observe their behavior.
Behavior, yeah.
Like, okay, this one is totally different, but I've never had time to start chatting with her. But that very afternoon, I was moved to like go and talk to her.
Yeah.
So we now went to the IT and just for her to see what was going on there.
Yeah.
And somehow she picked interest in one of the courses. So after the meeting, the CD whatever TDS meeting,
Yeah.
we now sat down
Yeah.
together. That's how we started like talking. I was
Yeah.
then she wasn't opening up. She was just telling me, okay, how the service, that she was kind of skeptical about the service. She's going to serve me, but she
Yeah.
has never been here before.
Yeah.
So I was kind of encouraging her that yeah, something will definitely come up.
Yeah.
Just and that was how it wasn't even serious something.
Yeah.
After that meeting,
Mm-hmm.
several times, I think the next day and then the next 2 days, we all left camp.
Let's go.
And that was how I never called her again. Like, I deleted the number.
Yeah.
So it wasn't it's just friendship.
Yeah.
So how she came back to my life was simply after we passed out from the service.
Yeah.
My birthday was on a Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
2015. It was
Mm-hmm.
on a Sunday, if I could remember vividly. And
Mm-hmm.
then suddenly she called me on a Saturday because she came back to Lagos.
Yeah.
She stays in Lagos. And I was like, who is this? And she said, oh, you've deleted my number. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Who am I speaking with? She said, it's me, this, that.
Mm-hmm.
You remember we had a discussion. So we had a discussion surrounding finding job and all
Just
that.
okay.
So she now reminded me that we had the discussion in the camp. I said, oh, so sorry. And then I now took an advantage of that. I said, you know what? My birthday is actually tomorrow. Sorry for the short notice.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to come around.
Yeah.
She was like, and you're just telling me. I said, if you can, I mean, if you can't come, no
Yeah.
problem. You just come and celebrate.
Celebrate.
So I
Yeah.
sent her the address, and I wasn't expecting her to come.
Cool.
And the next thing, she showed up, and all my friends. In fact, that birthday, there were just two ladies and others guys. So
Mm-hmm.
she's one of the ladies, and then the other guys, the other lady was actually my cousin's friend. So that one is already married. She's
Yeah.
engaged. So she was around. She was in town. So I told her, okay, you can come around. So all the guys were like, Chidi, we know you. You don't just invite people to the house.
Yeah.
You don't just invite a lady to the house. As in, for you to invite this person,
Yeah.
and it seems she's the only one you invited.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, there's a family friend that lives across the street. That she's just a family. So that one was also invited. She didn't come. So then they were like, Chidi, I think I like her. Then my auntie was also the person that noticed. I'm like, Chidi, who is that?
There's always an auntie that's an instigator.
So my auntie was more like,
Mm.
who is that person? So I introduced, I said, Auntie, just a friend.
Yeah.
Sat together and all that. So, and then she left. So I didn't take it to heart, but the guys were like,
There's something there. There's a comma.
So this is how we met.
Yeah, amazing.
And then from there we started talking.
So now, something I actually realized and noticed. A few of the friends that are male, like men, my friends that are men, that's actually are almost like you in terms of discipline in that area and stuff. I realized that there are lots of ladies that flock around them. How now it's a bit confusing. Do you think it's something that happens? Like, do you think it's, I won't say it's God that does it, right? But do you think it comes with the package of like the temptation or your personality? I know women love men or guys that are like you, definitely. You're welcoming, you are always willing to help and all that, you're accommodating. But at this point, I'm now beginning to think you're not just the only one. There are other few men like you that ladies love, but yet you're very disciplined. What do you think exactly is the reason why women flock around?
So I think first of all, your personality. Even we guys, when we see ladies that are in that form, that same manner, we tend to also there's this natural likeness you have for this person, which is, it could be genuine, it could be something else. But for me, I personally knew that they just love me that time, or let me just say they like me because of my kind of person.
Yeah.
You are just caring. I mean, during the time I was in school, I was this kind of person that if I come to class, I make sure I greet everybody, both guys, ladies. I just want to
Yeah.
ask you, how was your night?
Yeah.
You okay? Or sometimes I tend to notice, I sense that something is wrong,
Wrong. Yeah.
and you can imagine all the guys around such a lady. Nobody noticed that. And from where I was sitting, I could just look back and say, no, something is wrong. I'll just go close to her, sit down close and say, this is not you yesterday. That thing alone
Yeah.
could change some things about the person.
Yeah.
The way the person sees you, be like, oh, this guy is caring. And then the next day, the person tends to come towards you, like to greet you.
Yeah.
And someone else reading this may think something is going on, two of them. Do you understand? So that care you show them, I sometimes people don't get this
Yeah.
easily from people, even their family members. So they are seeing someone who is not even related to them, showing them that kind of care. So it tends to draw people to me. And I knew that sometimes people come because of the way you treat them with respect. And of course, I emphasize on treating people with respect. And ladies, they love the fact that when a guy says that and they can see him do that,
Do
treat
it.
ladies with
Respect. Yeah.
having understanding that this person could be your sister.
Yeah.
What will happen if you see someone treating your sister that
Yeah.
how are you going to react? So that is one thing that I believe. And then, like I said earlier, being conscious of the fact that many of them will tend to come around to say, oh, he's so nice, but they have motive.
Ulterior
So I make sure I define it immediately so that you won't think twice that, oh, why I did this yesterday,
Yeah.
but simply because I want us to go from
Yes.
to another.
Yes.
It ends that yesterday. Let's keep it that way. Do you understand?
Yeah.
For instance, you see, sometimes I remember assignment to be given. Somebody will say, "Oh, can you come around my hostel? Let's do this together." I say, "No, we have to do it in this class right now. If you can't do it now, let's fix a date."
Yeah.
And I remember one certain time, this part I can't remember her name, but she called me and was like she wanted me to put her through something. I gave her an appointment. I said, you know what, I'm going to come from my house inside school. I'm going to come into school. Meet me at so place. Forgot, I don't even know what was going on in her mind. So she thought when I get into school, she could actually make me come to her hostel.
Yeah.
So I got there before her at the point where I was meant to meet her. I stood there, called her on the phone. She was like, oh, so sorry. I forgot we're supposed to meet. I'm so tired. You are close to my hostel. Can't you just walk in? In fact, I'm even cooking right now. You come first, I'll give you food. I just said, wait, you said you are in your hostel. I just said, I said, I'm going to stand here in the next 5 minutes. If you don't show up, I'll go back to my house. Yes, I'll go back anyway. You've stressed me out, but trust me, you won't get this opportunity. And that assignment was meant to be submitted. She thought I was joking. I walked back home, and then she waited and waited and waited, and she knew I was so serious about that. So the next day, she came to school and she was like, actually, I never knew you could do this. I said, oh, you're just okay. This is just the first experience you're having about me. Oh, you think I will come to your account? I took my time. We agreed on something. You needed something. I had to come down from off camp. You were living inside, and you wanted me to come to your accommodation. It's not about the food. It's not. I will eat my food. You know that changed something about her. Guess what? The next time we fixed something like a group discussion. She was the one telling others that, see, he will be there before all of you. Just try and be there. See, Chidi, if you think about him on that aspect, please don't joke with that. Because he's a nice person, so don't judge him by that. But he keeps to that. So you see now, because I had to show her exactly this is the standard, and I don't want to bend it because of you. Because guess what? If I had done otherwise,
Yes.
she might be the one to go and tell her that
Yes.
the
Yes.
letter came.
Yes. Exactly.
So, and it cut across everybody that I've dealt with. So that alone kept me on that track. And I can bet you that even when I left UNM, they still remember me for those things.
Those things.
Till now.
Till now.
So it's just about defining your boundaries, you know. In as much as I have them around me, everybody knows that you can't, this is just the limit. You can't go beyond this. And then if you want to invite me for something, it has to be daytime. Where I can see people. You can't just invite me to a party, say it's till daybreak. I won't come.
Yes.
Even if I want to honor that invitation, I will show up, but I'll leave on time. If you say you're starting 5, I'm going to be there before 5. I will stay there. Once it's 5, I give you extra 20 minutes. I've actually honored your invitation. You said 5, I'm coming, and then I will leave. So it's more like just be different. And it's not a way to make people feel like, your own is too much.
Too much, yeah.
This is my life, and it works for me. All right. So yeah, they're always around because they see something about you. But you just remind yourself of who you are, what you stand for. I think at the long run, people will still respect you for that.
There's something very important you said, and it just I mean, I just started thinking through deeper, and it's not just what you said; it's what you've been saying. So I just realized something. I realized that me personally, I've known you. You've been my paddy for a very long time, but I've known you as not just my friend, but a Christian. I know you to be a very I can bet. I can judge on Chidi that you are a good Christian. You understand? But with all that you have said, not but then with all that you have said, I'm not your discipline, all the things you're saying, I've not seen you quoting scriptures for this person. So it just makes me realize that while you are a Christian, whatever God is working in you to do is definitely going to be your character at the end of the day, and you do not have to enforce it or emphasize it by giving scriptures or showing I'm a Christian, that is why I'm doing this. I don't know if you understand. People would see Christianity through the way that you live, and that's really amazing because I mean, like you said, I'm a disciplined person, I do this and do that, but when they now get to know you, they see that they don't even have to get to know you before they know you're a Christian, but you have lived it through. So whoever is going to become a Christian through you, I mean, through soul winning or you telling them about Christ, will already see that you have lived it through. You know, it's a different thing when you always talk about scriptures, talk about God, carry God on your head, and you're not living any of it, you know. And so that's something that just struck me about you, and that's amazing.
Yes. So just to point out something, I'm not perfect, you know. What I discovered in the scripture, the first time they were mentioned, the disciples or the apostles were called Christians. It was their lifestyle. It wasn't about them saying we are Christians. So people saw something different about them, and they were like, "Who are these people? They are probably to them it looks so strange. Why are they like this? Why is it easier for them to just forgive? Why is it easier? Yeah, I have my shortfalls and all that, but in that I always remind myself that you can always be better. Right? Now people tend to look at, excuse me, people I tend to live out that life. My prayer all the time is for me to live out that life. I want to live it out. Yeah, even if you want to preach to someone is watching out to see, do you do those things? But it's very difficult because sometimes people tend to misunderstand you because you stand for something. And because our society today, those things are very rare to find. So when people see you do those things, they tend to misunderstand you. Now, for instance, somebody coming to you to say, I remember when I was in Coventry, you know, some students will come and they will ask you to do something that is not right. They are coming to you to say, let's try this. In my head, sometimes I will be thinking, are you trying to tempt me?
Yeah.
And these are people that you see in church,
Yeah.
same church you go to,
Yeah.
and they are coming the next day to ask you to do certain things because it's obtainable somewhere else. And you're saying, no, you can't do it. And to them, they define it as you being strict.
Yeah.
So, and of course, I always ask myself, even when Jesus was around,
Yeah.
people did not like him because of where, even
Yes.
the disciples. So it's a very difficult situation in our society
Yeah.
today for people to live out that life.
Their life.
But trust me, when you keep to that, people will definitely understand this is why you're doing it. I use Paul as an example. Like I said, when Paul was persecuting the church, people were afraid and all that. But the very day he had an encounter with Jesus, the same guy came out, and the same people, because they had a memory of they had his history, though they were like, oh, this guy again, probably that's a new way to get back to us.
Yeah.
But they believed him more because they saw that this life he was talking about,
Yeah,
he
he's
was living that
living
life.
it.
He wasn't
Amazing.
that Bible never mentioned he was. Yes, he was meant to go and preach to them, but the reactions of people around
Yeah.
showed that they were not believing
They are not.
all the
Yeah.
things he was saying. So I think our modern Christianity now, I can bet you a lot of people have these scriptures. They can recite the
Yeah.
scriptures. Some people, even the unbelievers, they know some of these quotes. When you quote it for them, they will tell you, they will complete it for you. But your life will always tell the difference, because that's what Jesus, that's the part of life Jesus did
Wow.
that we are missing. Most people are missing. Sometimes you see Jesus, the way they will talk to him or
Yeah.
treat him, he will kind of pay back with love.
Yeah.
So it's a very difficult thing for you to see someone that this person is very obvious that we want him there,
Yeah.
but he's showing us love. It's very difficult for you to even understand.
Yeah.
Just imagine you are aware that this person doesn't like you, but you are, instead of giving back hate, you are giving back love. So, and that is what Christianity is all about. So to the world, it's very strange because it's more like,
this is expected of you. Return this.
if you
Yeah.
give me this, I give you this back.
Yes.
But that's the opposite. So it's a very difficult situation. But somehow, I pray to God all the time and say, give me the grace to live it out.
Yeah.
Though people may not understand, they will call it all sorts of names. But just keep to it. And somehow it's been helping me. I mean, it's been my encouragement so far.
I mean, I'm just so happy for you. I mean, you just got married not too long, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I wanted to ask you regarding this, but now it's almost like you've answered the question, because it's still a matter of discipline, and just hearing how discipline has also carried you, grace of God and discipline. I believe discipline is also a fruit of the spirit, if you ask me. Yeah. And I believe that you taking up discipline and the grace of God has actually carried you through before you got married, before you started courting your wife now, as in a relationship now, and when you now got married. But we are here where somehow there's a distance between you and your wife. And so, like I said, I wanted to ask you regarding this. If there's like, so how are you doing all of this? Like before now, you've been pulling it through since university, and we are here, and God is still giving you this kind of trial. At this point, to you, it's probably not a trial, but I can tell that some other people will be like, oh my God, now that I have married, I'm supposed to be with my wife, I'm supposed to be enjoying what is going on. So I don't know, is to you, do you feel like, I think it's getting too long, there's a bit of stretch?
For me, I think it's just about understanding between me and my wife, and I don't think it's getting too long. Um, throwing back, going back to how God has helped both of us. So I don't think it's too long anymore, because this was more like God trying to put us through some level of, test, and be able to see if He can trust us to walk with Him on this journey, because a journey that's is not just rough, but it's just about God trying to reshape us try to put us to a point whereby when the marriage finally happens, people will see what marriage is all about.
All about it.
And what I pray to God all the time is for us to be able to depict exactly what marriage is all about. The way it is in the Bible, what God actually, and I'm really thanking God because the real Christians who are getting married these days are beginning to show the world this is marriage. Marriage is
Marriage.
beautiful.
Yes.
So anybody out there telling you that it's like a contract where you sign today, and in the next few years, if it's not okay, you sign out.
Yeah.
That person is not a good person.
Mm.
My Smuro will always say that divorce is the death of marriage.
Wow.
That's I cannot forget that video. I always watch it and it reminds me of what marriage should be. That is a very beautiful thing. God cannot create something that is not beautiful. So the devil tries to show the world the other side of it, that you can actually go in and go out. And I don't think people who are divorced they're happy. Let's forget about what you see on social media. They tend to be happy. They go for events. They are happy. Each time you see the person you are divorced, it reminds you of your marriage. So you cannot get away from it. So that's why God wants that. It is better if you cannot. Paul was even advising you better stay unmarried.
Yeah.
But in the real sense, the way God put this thing, if you stay on God's plan, God's pattern, the way the map for marriage, the way He put it, that this is how marriage should be. If you follow it, you will enjoy the marriage. So our journey has been it's been by the grace of God. God has really sustained us.
Yeah.
I mean, distant relationship, people tend to say, "Oh, how can God?" It's not okay to maintain it for long. But in my own case, I think my own case is a very peculiar case.
It's
Because I
quite
wouldn't
peculiar.
want people to say, "Oh, it's better.
Yes.
Just keep it."
Yes.
If you cannot sustain it the way I did, don't try it. I mean, but for me and my wife, it's almost settled. I know a lot of things are going on. God is trying to help us get some things in place.
In place.
So I don't think it's for us. It's not like we are regretting
Anything. Yeah.
because right now we could see what God has done in our life. So God was actually working on our lives individually, things that He would like us to work on before we go into before we marry. And now we could even tell ourselves that, oh, I think
this was what God.
because even while we are courting, the similar things that people experience in their courtship, we were experiencing it, but how to find a way around it? How do we resolve this? Sometimes we want to do it our personal way, but it's not working. But we had to rely on God for God to work it through us. And at the end of the day, we could see that it was God that actually worked through these things. And now we don't. It's natural for us to, forgive, for us to say sorry, for us to pray together. So it's coming up naturally. We don't have to force ourselves to do certain things, which is these are the things even marriages as some people who are in marriage they are struggling to maintain. But these things to us is very simple. I'm not saying we're perfect, but so far I can tell you that God is really helping us with some of those things. And I'm really enjoying the whole process. And by God's grace, maybe next time we'll be together.
Yes, I like that. Well, I think something I needed to say something. I just realized when I was hearing you speak, and you now saying that you've seen it as a season of testing and all that stuff. I just realized that God has actually been preparing you for quite some time, and here you are now being comfortable and knowing that if God could see me through those times, He'll see me through in this area of now that I'm married. It's really harder now that you're married, to be fair. Thinking about it, that time you're not owing anybody anything, but but now you're now married. It's more like God, I don't marry now. What's gonna happen here? Well, I really enjoyed this conversation, and it's so amazing that you were able to pour out yourself and be open. Thank you so much, Chidi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there anything you want to say?
No, I mean, the reason for this is just to tell someone out there that
Yeah.
it can be done.
Yes.
If you're still struggling with some of the things I mentioned, you just need God.
Yeah.
Don't rely on what you read on social media. You need God. That's number one. And if God is in your case, is God is on your case, one thing that will certainly happen is that you will see yourself going through this process without struggling,
True, yeah.
because sometimes we tend to look at people, this person has done it, let me apply the same person. No, God can decide to work with you in different ways,
Yeah.
so just stick to him, and then definitely you'll see it through.
Yeah.
To my hosts, I'm happy doing this. UD has been a great friend. So this is a very good one from her, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. If there's anything I'm going to add, I would say take advantage of the grace of God. The grace of God is not just there for us to, when we ask for forgiveness, to say there's more grace, right? But I realized also in my walk with God that the grace of God empowers.
Yeah.
It empowers you to live above sin. So a lot of things that you think that you cannot do is because you are not taking advantage of the grace of God. And the grace of God, taking advantage of the grace of God is not just to say it, but to actually act on it. God has given us that grace. So acting on it and deciding and saying no to certain things that do not please God is how to take advantage of that grace. You may not know, but it's already working because you are acting on the grace. So yeah, I really love talking to you, Chido.
Thank you.
Thank you.